want to do some
can
plant
do it
freestyles?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can throw words
Okay,
out,
cool.
or mushrooms or anything. Yeah,
All right.
feeling, yeah.
Well, why don't we kick it off with Rishi? You want to freestyle about some Rishi?
Yeah, Reishi. She's going to take on the daily. And maybe they make your heart go wavy. See, the cardiovascular system will finally move when you get the Reishi that's going right inside of you. It's not metaphysical, and it's not so spiritual. You see, it literally opens up your heart. It's not just lyrical. When I'm talking about the Reishi hitting you inside, and then you realize your heart opens so wide. Reishi is the mushroom of immortality, you see. So if you even give another simple word to me, I'll make a little melody or maybe make a song putting crock pot reishi brewing all night long. Welcome to the Herbalist Hour. This is where community gather, merging the power of people and flowers, the sweet and the bitter to the salty, the sour. Umami, it's time for the Herbalist Hour.
Welcome back to the Herbalist Hour. Today, I'm really excited to have on MC Torin Frost. Welcome to the show.
Oh man, thanks so much for having me.
I've been wanting to have this conversation for so long, and I'm so glad it worked out. As you know, we were just at a wedding, and it just so happened on our way out, we were able to visit you here in Seattle. And for those of you that don't know Torin, you do know who he is. He wrote and performed the theme song to the Herbalist Hour. So I just got to say, thank you so much. Like, you wrote the raps, you performed the raps, you made the beat, you did all of the work. And I'm just kind of curious, just so we could get it rolling here, what was that process like, and what was the inspiration behind it?
You reaching out to me was a dream, honestly.
That's so cool.
So I made my first beat that same week. And you hit me up, you're like, yo man, do you make beats? And I was like, well, technically now I do. I just made a saucy one this week. And I've been around a lot of producers, you know, I've made the whole drip with the Iceberg. But I wasn't the one actually making the beat, I was just watching producers. And when you asked me, I was like, I feel like I could do this right now. I'm creators asking me to create through you. So I just sat down and I was so excited. There was the herbal task. And I started choosing all the sounds from scratch that I felt were organic and reminded me like an herb rally.
That's
and
right.
So I brought them in and just started laying down, and it felt so organic and natural and so fulfilling to actually create it from scratch and to build up a song and to mix a song by myself too, you know. I have songs that I've never been able to mix for years. But that one I had to deliver to you, so.
Oh man, yeah.
It felt so good to have that responsibility.
Deadlines really do, spur action, don't they? And when you say mix it, I've always been curious what that actually means, because you're making the beat, you're actually creating it. What does it mean to actually mix it down?
So making the beat, I'm just, making all the sounds, but then I have to arrange all the sounds and to make them sound sonically in a nice texture together and make it so the kick's not too overpowering compared to the hi-hat, or that bird sound's not popping up too loud. What if you want the bird sound to come over to the left?
Yeah.
And you want the water sound to come over to the right. So there's all these panning and the reverbs of how much you want, the compression, and learning about all the EQs and frequencies, because every sound has a hertz. You could be talking low or talking high. And you could actually EQ to remove frequencies and boost frequencies. So it's a long, complicated process, as deep as you want to dive into it.
Well, thanks for putting all that work into it. And I remember early on, you kind of gave us a little rough draft, if you will. And I was like, I don't know what it was. Part of me was like, oh, is this what we want? And then as you progressed further, I was like, no, I put all of my trust in Torin Frost. I'm so glad I did, because the final result, like, people compliment it all the time. And it's just like, it makes you feel like good listening to it. It's energizing, it's smooth. And then I think the only direction that we gave you was people and plants. And you just infused it so perfectly together. So I did want to ask specifically about the lyrics where you talk about the 5 flavors, and I just want to know what was the inspiration behind that.
I just figured that the herb rally was going to bring in so many different flavors of Herbalist.
Totally.
And people that are inspired by the plants and working with them. So I don't know, all the different flavors hit me. And in the Western culture, we don't talk about the bitter. And so that's why I wanted to start it off with the bitters and the umami's. And it feels really good to
I like it.
weave it in. Y'all doing it. It's so grateful to be a part of it.
Amen.
One of the flavors. That's
right. I like to say I'm the umami. Welcome to the Herbalist Hour. This is where community gather, merge in the power of people and flowers, from the bitter to the salty, to the sweet to the sour. Umami, it's time for the Herbalist Hour.
I couldn't
Did I
not
do
with
it?
the umami too. I had to do it. I was like, I hope they're cool with the umami.
Well, it sounds like umami.
Exactly. I was like, umami, it's time for the Herbalist Hour.
I was going to say that for the end, but it seems organic to do that right there. So I'm not a rapper. I'm not a professional rapper. But
I like hearing you say that. That was nice, smooth there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just kind of curious where you're from and like what your upbringing was like.
Right over there, over the water, a place called Burien.
Okay.
Yeah, a little suburb of South Seattle.
Nice. So you're from the area then. Nice.
Born and raised.
You've had a lot of travels too, though.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about some of the travels you've had? And
Man, so starting off in Burien, it's a very diverse community.
Yeah.
And almost 50% of my school was Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
So I was raised getting to dive into that culture.
Sure.
Like my friends were Hispanic and speaking Spanish at their houses, getting immersed in the language. So then my travels took me south of the border.
Okay.
And then first stop was Guatemala. Actually, before that, I think I took my first love to Mexico. And so we were just going on all kinds of adventures. I went to Puerto Rico and Cuba. I backpacked Central America from Guatemala all the way to Costa Rica. So going to Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, all by myself.
Oh, wow.
Backpack, and it was life-changing. Such a beautiful journey.
How was the food?
The best food, beautiful people, the fruits, music. I ended up performing tons of places.
Yeah.
And the hospitality down there. Like Southern hospitality is one thing,
Yeah.
but then south of the border
wow.
hospitality, it's just like, they're like, man, it makes me really want to leave the country more.
I bet.
Experience more culture. People say, buenos dias.
Totally.
It's so friendly. Everyone's dancing like in the restaurants. In Seattle, it's a colder place. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
But the Mexican bars, the Latino bars in Burien are popping every weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, so they bring the culture. That's why, yeah.
Do you ever perform at any of those bars?
No.
Okay.
I got to get my Spanish set together first.
There you go. I am kind of curious though, when you first started rapping and like, what was that like? Like, what was that evolution like? And I just really am kind of curious, like, what was your first show like and all that?
I've always trying to trace back when I first started rapping.
Yeah.
And it's the first memories, I was like 6. And my sisters and their friends were having me rap an Eminem chorus. And they're like, if you could rap the whole thing, you could sleep in the living room with us. And so I went to the room, and I remember being in the room practicing. And that was the first time I remember practicing rap. And it wasn't my own rap.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, he's a complicated rapper, you know?
Totally.
And so to be hitting those lyrics at 6 years old, by 6th grade, I was freestyling in the recess lines. I remember that.
Wow.
They were just throwing words at me, like how a lot of freestyles like Harry Mack do. And I was 6th grade doing that, just rapping about any word they threw me.
Wow.
And then 7th grade, you know, that's when the plethora of beautiful women came to middle school. I'm not in elementary school anymore. I was like, wow, poetry open every class. I'm writing poems, turned to a poet. And I was like into my poet phase for a while. And I'm like, wait, these are raps.
Yeah.
So I started rapping at all the parties. People were getting me to rap and throughout the schools. And eventually I ended up at a community center over there in Columbia City, or Rainier and Hudson. And it was called WAPI, and it was a community center for the youth. And I just got invited there, and we got to do our first performance in the community center.
Wow.
And I was just a teenager, and it was a cool, real diverse lineup, and it was a great opportunity.
Do you feel at home on the stage?
Mm-hmm.
It looks that way.
Definitely, yeah. They always kick me out of class. You know, I'd be finishing the work and just entertaining the class, and so, you know, just get me going. I just love it. I love it so much. It feels so good.
That's so cool. Well, this is going to be released after the fact, but I know tomorrow you have your big EP or LP release party for Drip of the Iceberg, which should be available on Spotify and all the other streaming platforms. So can you tell us a little bit about the upcoming album?
Oh, man, Drip of the Iceberg. It's just a drip of the iceberg.
And tomorrow's the drop.
And it's the drop. It's a nice little intro to my rap journey.
Okay.
I took a lot of variety of my favorite songs that I had, because I have so many in the vault. And each of these songs mean something to my heart.
Yeah.
Even if they're not my favorite lyrical performance or something like that, they mean something to me. Like that moment in time, it was either therapeutic for me, or I'm like, that song was a great day. And so I took 13 of my favorite songs and I arranged them in this, and it's like a story of my younger days. And I 2016, I wrote a few of the songs.
Okay.
Like Arbor Lake and Coops, and people are like, that's the hippie rapping at the Herbal Fair, you know? Like, yeah, I used to be doing some other herbal kind of movements in South Seattle and the old school continental. And Burien, you know, the south side of the city is different.
Yeah.
And so there's a story of the struggle in there, and then it's the whole journey up to Alchemy, and Lobo y la Puma ends it with the guitar song. It's a journey.
Yeah, I did read that you said that this is your life's work. So yeah, there's a lot of those combined stories on the album. Is this with Patterns of Saturn, or is that kind of your separate? Okay.
Yeah, but Kyle G is a saxophone player, the wizard.
Okay.
Composer. He's playing saxophone on there.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, I'm kind of curious what the symbolism behind the album artwork is. It's really beautiful, and also maybe shout out the artist as well.
Rose Drumming, yeah. And her Instagram is Rose Unfolding. Okay. She inspired the album artwork. Okay. She is one of my favorite artists, and she happens to be woven through this mycelium through friends of mine, where I've never really even met her in real face-to-face, only very briefly. But, you know, I just really honor and respect her work a lot. And a lot of people that I love so much have had her work on the walls, and every time I'm just enthralled. It's so beautiful, and it's mostly women, and it's their nature embodiment. And I was like a little scared to ask her to paint me because she doesn't usually paint men. Right. So I wrote her like 5 pages. Like, Rose, my art means the world to me, and I know your art does too. And I'm making my first project with Iceberg, and I poured out this long 5-page story, and she's like, you know, I do commissions, you know. And I'm just like, oh.
There you go.
I had to write you a story about my life. And her art, she has a piece where the woman is crying salmon. And, you know, being here, we're throwing the show on the Duwamish River tomorrow. Yeah. And the Duwamish River has experienced so much pollution, colonization, desecration. It's horrible. Yeah. And the salmon's coming back through the tears is kind of like, even if I'm not rapping about it, that's what I feel needs to happen. Yeah. It's important for these rivers and these waters. And at the bottom, there's the cyanescence growing out. And I'm born the year of the dog and the month of the deer. So the dog and the deer facing each other. And it's also like the wolf eats the deer, but it's like, that's like my ego, and it's facing my inner self. And it's like, I want to be calm like the deer, but strong like the wolf, but at the same time finding that balance. And all the plants on there, you know, just the cedars. I had a cedar in my backyard, so I had to put the cedars right there. And that's a tree of life for the Salish people, you know, their clothes and their canoes and longhouses. So the cedars and every plant on there means a lot to me for sure. And the mushroom, the turkey tail coming off the face. You know, northwest, probably poor magic.
Do you have a relationship with, say, fungi and the turkey tail in general?
Definitely. And polypores were some of the first mushrooms I started foraging. Okay. Once I learned, I'm like, wait, they're not, you know, the mycophobia out there. We think our parents don't always teach us how to forage. And then meeting, you know, Reishi of Earth and Spirit Botanicals, she's teaching me. And my dad had cancer. And so turkey tail, I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Yeah. What are these polysaccharides, beta glucans, these constituents that fight cancer? Yeah. And so, you know, I'm a Cancer rising, and cancer, you know, rose in my father, and he passed on. And just that turkey tail coming out of my face and the tears on the other side, this reminds me of like the healing medicine that we need to bring back to the waters, but it's coming from the trees, and it's just a whole,
That's beautiful. Thanks, man. Yeah, I can't wait to have that on record.
Oh, I gotta get the vinyls. The art's too beautiful and needs a vinyl.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
Regardless of what I think of the music, the art is so beautiful. A CD doesn't do it justice.
So is that going to be available then on record and CD and all that? Okay, awesome. It will. Where's the best place for people to purchase?
I guess by the time my vinyl record is ready, my website will be real popping. Okay. Right now, it's not, you know, my apologies, y'all. I'm an artist trying to work with the digital world.
You're a musician.
But TorinFrost.com.
Okay.
We do got the domain and everything.
Okay, awesome. So at some point in the future, it'll be available and all that. I would like to hear about more of your inspiration behind a lot of your raps, because I don't remember if it was Rishi or you or someone told me that someday you might write a whole album based around herbalism. I don't think that's Drip of the Iceberg, but tell us kind of about some of the subject matter on your album.
Yeah, so the Apothecary, it's basically been created and performed live with the band Patterns of Saturn many times. It just hasn't been formulated in the studio yet. But Reishi did help inspire this idea
That's
when we were
cool.
foraging elderberries.
Okay.
She said, what if you made this song about all these plants and mushrooms? And I got a fresh pack of beats from my homie Pioneers from Burien. He sends over the beats. We're riding through the mountains, and I started freestyling, you know. Life ain't what it seems. It's an elderberry dream. And then I remember being in the forest, so I was like, elderberry, you watch it bubble on the beat. We put it in the cardboard, turn it into meat. Then we put it in the cardboard, bring it to the team. And we were doing all these raps before the band ever played them. And now the band swings out the chorus and it drops, elderberry, watch it bubble on the beat. And it hits hard. And it came from actually foraging in the Reishi song.
Yeah.
She embodies a mushroom so much.
Yeah.
She's such a mycelial creature, so symbiotic in the way she just moves, and she loves warm, wet spaces, and she's just, yeah, she's like the desert. No, I don't go to the desert.
Yeah.
Nothing dry. I'm a mushroom. And so sometimes I can't tell if she's a woman or a mushroom, and she's embodying it so much. So the Reishi song about not telling you she's a woman or a mushroom, or the Lion's Mane song, taking Lion's Mane every day. So the talk about riding around town, trying to make some change, maybe 2 microdoses in some Lion's Mane. And yeah, all these, every plant and mushroom on the apothecary, another deep, dear relationship to my heart. Like, I love these. They're allies and friends to me. You know, I spend time with them on the daily.
Yeah.
You know, so we gotta have the elderberry dream song.
That's right.
Don't have the Lion's Mane on the tincture, but we got a Reishi and a Road song.
That's a beautiful label. That's Earth and Spirit.
Yeah.
Awesome. We will link to that. I'm guessing she has a website. Yeah, we'll link to
Earth
that
and Spirit
That's right.
Botanicals.com.
Right.
We handpicked all the elderberries, local honey shine from local.
So you're putting your
farmers.
magic in these as well, then.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I'm out there singing elderberry dreams over the pot, replanting hundreds of elderberries as we're foraging.
That's so
We're gonna
cool.
go elderberry picking again next week, and we fermented these pears. I filled my whole chundra bread with pears and apples, the whole bed,
Okay.
and then we pressed them all in a wooden press and turned it all into vinegar, and then we harvested all the horseradish together from her garden, and yeah, local. Everything's local and locally sourced from local farms and the firesider. But she's the real witch, and I'm just out here apprenticing.
Dude, you're an herbalist.
I'm helping her carry the honey is heavier than water, so 5 gallons of honey. I'm like, I got you, the queen. And some things are taller, so I gotta help her, you know. But we're in Appalachia picking reishi. I'm like stabbing the reishi with one hand, wow, and then it falls, and I catch it with the other hand. And she's like, what? I've never seen no one do that. I'm like, Reishi, I was born for this. Come on. So,
You're making your own wild harvesting techniques up as
I'm
you
her
go.
first employee. She doesn't know it yet. You know, it's not on the bush. I'm volunteer. I'm a volunteer. You know how it goes.
That's fair. Well, we appreciate you putting your magic in there. We do have to have Rishi on the show.
Yes.
We've done some video work with her before, but now that the Herbalist Hour is going, so we got to definitely interview her as well.
Love you, Reishi.
We love you, Rishi. Just a quick break from the show to thank our presenting sponsor, Oshala Farm. Oshala Farm is a beautiful and vibrant certified organic herb farm based in Southern Oregon, where they grow and sell over 80 different plant species. The founders, Elise and Jeff Higley, have been longtime friends, so I highly trust their growing methods and ethics. You'll love the potency and vibrancy of all the herbs they have to offer. To learn more and purchase their herbs and other organic goods, head to oshalafarm.com. So thanks once again to Oshala Farm for sponsoring the Herbalist Hour. Now back to the show. Enjoy. This just came to mind. You recently did it's not a guest spot, but you were, you wrote a rap for some sort of contest with Logic. Yeah. And I just have to say, that is one of my favorite things I've heard you rap. Whoa. I actually listened to it numerous times over. I was like, damn, this flows real nice. If you didn't get that spot, if you didn't win that contest, are you going to repurpose that? Because that is like gold. I love that verse.
So the sample came from this queen named Lauren Santi.
Okay.
Who might be sitting over there on that chair. And she's the singer and songstress of the Sound Library Polyphonic.
Okay.
So that sample actually came over to a producer named Jake One, I believe, right? He made the beat. Travis Thompson and Logic hopped on it. She heard it as the challenge, and my friend Sergio said, check out this challenge. Yeah. She's like, what? That's my sample. Travis Thompson's from Burien.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to my high school, so I'm like, no way. I see the picture, it's on Ambom of where the instrumental is at. So I'm like, I'm about to slide over in the 69, bust open the suicide doors, and spit a verse right now, and it's gotta make some noise.
Yeah.
She knows Logic. we were trying to get logic on this Fairy Creek song because, you know, Fairy Creek is so important.
Right.
So we're trying to weave logic. Now I'm like, how is logic and Travis Thompson on a song on your sample the same week? We had to leave for Oregon Country Fair that morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's just slide over there and record it real quick. I'll edit it on the way to the fair.
Yeah.
We boom, busted over there, banged it all out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't even get posted in the top 10 or top 20.
Damn.
I don't know why.
I listened to.
I should post it somehow.
You should.
I'll ask her.
Yeah.
She knows about the legality because I don't know if that sample could be used.
I see.
But she made this sample.
Yeah.
So maybe we tweak it, change the key of it or something.
Yeah.
You know, she did make it, so we could. If you want it to come out, we could probably do it. I can maybe add another verse.
Sure.
Rally bar shout out.
That'd be sick. I did listen to numerous other ones and not throwing shade at the other rappers, but you really were my favorite one. I was like, maybe because I know you or whatever, but like I was like, it was so good. So we'll leave a link maybe to that Instagram video where you actually spit the rap. Yeah, that was really good. But sweet. Well, you have mentioned a few times you like to freestyle. You want to do a couple freestyles here?
Oh, damn.
Okay. When we were walking down the stairs, Rishi just said, you know, throw some plants at him. So is that how you want to do this? Do you want to do some plant freestyles?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you can throw words out.
Okay, cool.
Or mushrooms or anything. Yeah,
all right. Well, why don't we kick it off with Rishi? You want to freestyle about some Rishi?
Yeah, Rishi. She's going to take on the daily. And maybe they make your heart go wavy. See, the cardiovascular system will finally move when you get the Rishi that's going right inside of you. It's not metaphysical, and it's not so spiritual. You see, it literally opens up your heart. It's not just lyrical. When I'm talking about the reishi hitting you inside, and then you realize your heart opens so wide. Reishi is the mushroom of immortality, you see. So if you even give another simple word to me, I'll make a little melody or maybe make a song putting crock pot reishi brewing all night long.
He's good. Do you want me to do another plant, or do you want to come up with one yourself?
And we can even keep it rolling too.
All right,
you can even, as I'm rapping,
Oh.
you can throw other ones at me.
Oh, shit.
And I can incorporate it in and then like mix it. Like you just said rose after the reishi, I blend in the reishi rose.
Damn.
With the
Okay.
crazy pose on a daily dose of the reishi rose. They'd be like, maybe, bro, how you hitting them crazy pose?
Chamomile.
The chamomile. Sometimes when you're standing still, and then you realize that you're looking at the expanding hills, and you take a smooth sip of the chamomile, and then you realize that your will can be in the perfect place if you slow down with chamomile where there is no haste. Nothing like the chamomile that's soothing my system. A little bit of local honey's the only thing missing.
Dandelion.
A little bit of candlin. That's a dandelion. When the candle's lit, I realize I'm a dandelion and I'm lit. And I had a dandelion root that was good for my liver that I instilled inside a brew. A little bit of dandelion flower for the wine. I'm a dandelion every time
Kava.
I'm making all these rhymes. Maybe from Guatemala, or maybe more east from the Philippines where I got the kava where they talk about it before they eat a feast to find a place of peace. A little kava Mary ceremony is what I need. That is all I need is the kava, there's no job.
Hawthorne.
And then maybe hawthorn, maybe it's like lava. That was too hot, you should cool down the brew. Hawthorn flowers are sensitive, my dude. Next thing you know, I just put it in the heart. Went so open from the start. Hawthorn is like art. I have a tree in my mom's backyard. I think about it now as I'm emphasizing these bars. Thank you for the hawthorn and everything you do. I wouldn't be me if I didn't know you.
Dude, that was awesome. I was gonna throw asafoetida in there, but I just learned that one and it's very obscure. So
What's
I don't fuck with you like that. It's as far as I know, it's like an Indian spice, and it's used. It's like a resin. It's actually used in place of onion, I think, and garlic. So it's got a real funky flavor and smell to it. Yeah. Anyways, it's
Is
kind
this
of
a sulfury one?
sulfur.
Does it smell kind of sulfury?
Yes, it does. Yeah,
Okay.
totally. So you know that one. You would have freestyled that. Well, we're gonna do a guest question now from someone we both know. She's an herbalist, Reishi, Earth and Spirit Herbs. So here you go.
What's your favorite way to creatively engage with herbs and mushrooms?
I gotta say is listen to the herb, listen to what it says, and then try to sing it to the people. That's my favorite. Engagement is the interpretation, you know. And I feel like it's reciprocation when I'm singing O's to the song. They give so much to me. I just got to give them back some tunes. And of course, working with them with my hands, you know, at the same time, like replanting.
Yeah.
Planting seeds feels really good. Feels almost better than harvesting.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm
absolutely.
like, harvesting, I'm like, I feel like I'm taking, you know, a white dude to the Northwest. I'm like, I don't know, this is, I want to give back. When I'm planting seeds, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. My ancestors are like, so I just, yeah.
I love that.
Planting seeds and then leaving songs. It feels so good.
That is a nice segue into my next question, but I have to say we just interviewed my good friend Giuseppe Spadafora, and he talks about his lifestyle is he pulls things from dumpsters and then he creates, well, either dumpster diving, but then he creates. He's a woodworker, he's a mechanic. He'll take things out of dumpsters and then actually create with it. So he said he gets to the point where he's pulling more out of the dumpster than he's actually putting in. And that kind of reminded me of that. You're like, you like to plant seeds more than you like to actually harvest the plants. And that feels good. So,
good.
I really like that. You wrote on your Instagram a quote, and I was just hoping you could kind of expound upon it.
Oh, well.
I really liked it. It stood out to me. You said, healing takes many forms. The most powerful form of healing I've experienced in my life is music. It's been a conduit of connection and love. It's opened my heart to the art of alchemy and has been the greatest medicine I've encountered. So I thought that was just really beautiful, and I was hoping you could speak about that.
Man, music has literally turned my worst tragedies into what I think is close to masterpieces, as I say. It really is alchemy, you know, to have hard times about loss and trauma, violence, and friendship, heartbreak, all these things. Take such a sad moment when I'm at my lowest and to turn it to something beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just so powerful. And a lot of times I wouldn't be here for sure if it wasn't for music. Not even close. I wouldn't be in this house with Lauren by the water and talking to you if it wasn't for music. I wouldn't be me. It's got me through the hardest times, and sometimes I've needed it really bad. And after my dad passed and times like that, every show, I was talking about it on stage, and I leave the stage feeling like so much lighter that I talked about it. And it's so grateful to have that outlet, because a lot of people don't. They keep it bottled inside, and I'm able to cathartize and somatically release it in real time and freestyling from the hundreds of people who are feeling the same emotions I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And people are crying in the stage, and we have this beautiful, feels like a ceremony.
Yeah.
So sacred.
I could see how that'd be very healing and cathartic. Is any part of it the creation of the music, but then also some of it, do you ever consume music, other people's music, and kind of
definitely.
feel the same way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
songs
that.
that make you cry and give you the chills, and and growing up to hip hop, hearing people's stories from the struggle,
Totally.
it's just like whoa.
Yeah.
And then you hear their story, and I'm like, I don't got it bad. I'm just from Beery, and hearing some of what these rappers have been through, and rappers like Immortal Technique and stuff. They're telling those vivid stories, make you cry.
Moral Technique's a good one.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Broccoli Beef or Beef and Broccoli?
No.
Oh, you should listen to that one. It's a good one. Well, let's do a little game. It's called Explain. Thank you for sharing, by the way. I did want to actually ask before we go on to the next segment. Someone like me who's not an artist, and I don't consider myself a highly creative type, at least when it comes musically, it's been incredibly helpful for you. Do you think that's kind of innate, or do you think that a lot of us are able to maybe use music in our own creative way to help heal as well? Maybe even if it's just like for our own personal journey. If that makes sense. Okay.
Has the gift.
Yeah.
Everyone could sing. Everyone could rap.
Yeah.
It's for everybody. It's so healing. I teach freestyle.
I was going to say, I saw you did that at a
it's
festival.
Powerful.
Yeah.
People that have never rapped before are rapping. People that don't like rap are rapping. People that have heard rap and didn't even know it could be healing at all. And able to express themselves and heal. And those freestyle workshops have been so beautiful to watch people crack out of their shell and become birds and then grow and then spread their wings and they're flying. And I'm watching people like months later that are getting their voice down, style, cadence, tone, story. I'm like, whoa, you're getting better and better.
That's cool.
So I think it's for everybody.
Yeah.
I do think it is. And a lot of these things, like dancing is for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a professional dancer.
Right.
And every time I look at professional salsa dancing, I don't like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
They flip each other around.
Sure.
But it's not like
Right.
You know, you dancing under a bridge in Brooklyn to a band, swinging a lady around. You know, it's a different feeling when they're all professional. Everything's all dressed up in these polyester clothes, with all the sparkles, and it's like so fast. And it takes away from just the simple seeing an old couple dance in the street of Cuba.
Right.
And that's the most beautiful medicine that everyone in Cuba is dancing salsa like. So that's with music. It's for everybody, old, young. Just feel the music and sing and dance. And it's really hard to try to be a professional at something, at anything.
Right.
You know. And
why set the barrier so high?
a lot of people
That's
try
a great
to do
analogy
that.
to
Like,
dance.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to go backflip for salsa dancing, you know, spinning the leg through the legs.
Right.
And that's the same thing with rapping. And I do want to be at a world-class level, and that's my journey on it. But I've been rapping since I was 6.
Yeah.
So I got 23 years head start on a lot of people, you know. So
I love
anything,
it.
you know.
Yeah.
Kobe started young, I'm sure.
That's right. Yeah. Right.
I lucked out. The hip-hop guided me as a youth. I'm so lucky.
Yeah, I just gotta say thank you for that, because I guess there still is hope for me. I could.
Oh, you got it. Oh yeah, you could be rapping.
But yeah, I mean, on a serious note, when we saw Rishi walking down the stairs, I was like, I want to tell Torin this. Like, when I see you, I haven't seen you live yet, but I've seen you live on Instagram, and I'm like, dude, that guy belongs on stage. I feel like you really work. You do have a head start starting early, but then I also do feel like you do have this innate talent. And you have the charisma and the flow, and obviously the talent to, you know, spit freestyles, you know, with whatever plants I just threw at you right there. So it's impressive. But all right, all that aside, let's do it's called Explain That Gram, and I stole this directly from a YouTube interview show called Hot Ones. It's really fun. They eat a bunch of spicy chicken wings as they get spicier as it goes along. Anyways, we pulled a couple photos of your from your Instagram account. You could just kind of tell the greater story to the picture. So I'll pull those up.
Memory lane.
Yeah, exactly. Yours was kind of hard because a lot of your posts are videos, which is cool.
I've been on video recently.
For this exercise, I was like, oh, what's going on there?
Oh, man. Oh, that was such a good day. That was
He's jumping off a cliff.
my
there.
first. Was that my first tour? My second tour. It was with a band called Reposado that I helped start 6 years ago or so, a long time ago. And my dear friend JP, me, and Joel, and this guy named Dene, we took off in the country in a van. Like tons of guys packed into a van with the dog, living the dream, playing our music on the street corners, playing in random bars and house parties, and hiking to the edge of canyons. And we got to Austin, and we heard about Barton Springs. It's the warm spring that runs year-round there. And they took us to the Greenbelt down there, and that was just such a beautiful day.
Are you an adrenaline junkie? Do you like that kind of stuff?
I used to be way more,
yeah.
for sure. And then people like Reishi, you know, they got me tapped into safety more and more. Trying to find that balance.
Those are
And
herbalists.
plus when you get hurt,
Right.
too.
Right.
Because snowboarding, like, oh man. I got it where I couldn't walk for a week one time.
Yeah.
And it scares you. I
You
didn't know
don't
if I was
really appreciate it
paralyzed when
until you...
I fell, you know. I was
Yeah.
like, and then I like moved, and I was like, okay, I'm good. Thank God. I was so scared.
I bet. All right, let's take a look-see at another one. I thought this was just a beautiful picture.
Oh,
you know what that is?
Yeah, that's out in Denver.
Yeah.
I was out there with homegirl Christelle Cruz. Yeah. Shout out to Cece. She's a dope artist, painter, yoga instructor. She just spreads love and medicine as she walks through the earth. And yeah, we were out there in Colorado on a little adventure, going I think from Boulder back to Denver, playing a We Are Colorado open mic. It's just, they got a really cool scene out there in Denver. Yeah, I remember she's all about making the art, and we saw these pretty flowers. I was about flowers, sure, and we're like, let's promote the show tonight. Hop out here. Yeah, that was a fun day.
I love it. So here's a kind of more serious question. What's in your mustache wax blend?
Ooh, this right here. Well, there's a song that people haven't heard yet called Cottonwood Kisses.
Oh, okay.
I like to keep that one on the low because it's real special. Yeah. So it's some local beeswax and then a cottonwood oil.
Oh, nice. It probably smells amazing.
Yeah. Actually, this one, I don't think there's any cottonwood in this particular batch, but I do got some with the cottonwood, and it just steps it up. We all put some pine. It's a different kind of pine painter, depending on some ponderosa.
So you're making it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For sure, yeah. I'm like the very beginner, you know, craftsman. It's fun.
Sure. I've done that before, and I debated doing it for that wedding we were just at, but then don't know.
I
went
should
down,
sell it, honestly.
but yeah, you should.
People have been asking for a long time.
Yeah, that'd be a good brand. That'd be a good logo.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I do have to tell you about the Mile of Music event. It happens in our home city now of Appleton, Wisconsin. And basically what it is it's a mile stretch of free shows with all these different venues all down on College Avenue, which is like the main downtown area, over the course of 4 days. I want to say it's every August. Oh, yeah, we just went to it. But I want to try to get you at that event. That would be sick.
Yeah.
And they fly in artists from all over the country, and I just think you'd fit in. I know they do some hip hop there, so anyways, just keep that on your radar. Yeah, I'll try to exactly. Yeah, so I'll try to plug that. But yeah, why don't we wrap up with a couple more questions? Is there like a personal plant ally of yours that you're feeling particularly fond of currently, or?
My first thing went to beautiful ganja. You know, been smoking that recently.
Yeah,
it's been nice, especially during this creative process. We've been making this mixtape with my man Illuminati Congo from Chicago. He let us partaking in the fine herbs in his chalice, and we just been smoking some real good organic homegrown. And
love it.
There's so much medicine.
It is medicine.
There's just so much medicine besides like the creative, ethereal.
Yeah.
And it's been coming through in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And that's just the first plant that came to mind.
Love it.
Lion's mane's been real nice for the brain. And Mary Jane and lion's mane for the brain, you know what I'm saying? It's just because cannabis gets you cloudy.
Yeah.
And I don't recommend it to everybody on the daily if you're not moving at a functional pace. But if you're in grace, you're in the perfect place, and you got your ducks in a line, smoking's fine. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to make sure you got your priorities straight. And yeah, I think cannabis and lion's mane with the memory, because sometimes it gets foggy.
Yeah.
The lion's mane, it's like a nice balance.
Yeah.
It's like some nice oolong with it. Balance.
Oh yeah, that's a nice combo. So I guess the last question is, I'm just curious, what's next for you? What are your plans? What are your goals? What are your hopes and dreams?
Oh, what's next? I mean, tonight we're recording. Yeah. We're finishing an EP with Illuminati Congo. Honored to work with him. You know, really look up to the man. And tomorrow, Drip at Iceberg drops. We have a huge celebration tomorrow. Illuminati Congo from Chicago. MC Save the Whales from BC, y'all. Next level freestyle MC. Homie Rhyme Waves from Portland. Wicked lyricist as well. We got Angie Stacks coming. We got Peace and Red Velvet. A man named Orb, who's a freestyle and rap and breakdance, who's been in the community for a long time. Elixir Bar by Ray, she curated. Right. It's our first big event that we've really done as a whole team, and our homegirl Danica, she's been hosting the Moon Jam for years, and she serves all delicious vegan food from local farms and stuff as well. She's a big part of it, and Rhythm Seed Farms, where these pears came from. Shout out to my brother Nick. He's bringing tons of his vinyls up and spinning a vinyl cipher.
Oh, sweet.
And so it's going to be a next level event of conscious hip hop and herbal infused Tulsi pressed juice fresh from the garden with local cucumbers, honey from their hive. It's going to be a herbal experience with the elderberry dreams, and it's only going up and out from there. That's what Drip of the Iceberg. Me and Lauren Santi are cooking up so much musical magic on the daily basis. And Apothecary album is going to be coming, I don't know when, you know. We're going to be launching an Apothecary fundraiser.
Okay.
That's coming.
Okay.
Honestly.
Let us know.
People of Herbal should know about that, because we're going to be having these herbal infused shows in different cities, trying to bring the herbalists together and doing some work parties. We're going to have one at Rhythm Seed Farm in October. Okay. And so to like bring the community to work in the garden. That's so cool. Also, Drip of the Iceberg cost me $6,000 to record. Wow. I haven't made that back. And people are like, "Where's the Apothecary?" I'm like, I got bills to pay. And people are like, "We need these songs." I'm like, I really want to give y'all these songs.
Love it. And again, I'll reiterate, I'm bummed that our flight is the night before. I can't believe we scheduled it that way. Y'all are going to have a blast. You don't need us there. But yeah, it's going to be super fun. And just really stoked for you. Like, your life's work now recorded and released. And I'm super stoked to get the record. And obviously I'll be listening on Spotify. But you buy the album if you like rap, you like conscious hip hop, herbalism. Torin's your guy, and again, I can't thank you enough. You wrote the best theme song. I love it, and everyone loves it. So
thanks so much.
Yeah,
man.
No, I really appreciate
honored
it.
to do that for y'all.
That's so cool. Yeah.
It was so fun.
I
think I
love
should
it.
extend that and make a longer song.
I agree. I think
deserves it.
it really
Like,
does.
let's keep it going.
And then when you go to an herb conference, you could perform it. Wow, and get the whole crowd going. So, well, thanks for joining us on the Herbalist Hour. Did you have any closing thoughts or, last things you wanted to say before we get out of here?
Man, you know, try to plant seeds as you forage, and try to tap in with the native plants in your surrounding area as much as possible. I'm just trying to, give some advice to the people that I'm trying to follow as well. Yeah. And trying to learn about the native people from those lands and the first peoples of those lands, and do they have land? And are they acknowledged? Because a lot of these plants, a lot of this plant knowledge is coming from indigenous people, and they're not always given reverence and respect and honor. And right now, the Matui people in Eastern Washington just got land back, and so now they're not, I don't even know if they're officially recognized. A lot of these tribes aren't, but now they're starting to get land back. So hopefully the government will wake up, recognize them, give them some reconciliation for everything that's happened, and just to try to start pushing within the herbalism community, allow as much land back and giving back as we can, more power to the indigenous, and learning about how to tend to these forests and how we can be caretakers of the land, because we're a keystone species, and these thumbs, we have the gift to replant and spread roots, and yeah, we should use these to protect these places like Ferry Creek and the Oak Flat and these lands that are at risk right now. And yeah, try to recognize the tribe, the land, and the indigenous people will really help us recognize the plants, because their relationship is just so in tune. And I've learned a lot from the indigenous elders and just my friends, like my friend Morgan Mumwa. She's a young Okanagan indigenous woman, and she's an amazing herbalist. And she comes in and she's all about reciprocity planting, giving back, and planting nurseries and gardens and orchards. And she's all about planting and not about taking. Yeah. And I'm like, I love that. So the more we can give back to the plants, the more plants we can give to people, and make it accessible for people in need.
Amen. What a way to wrap up the show. Thank you once again, Torin.
Thank you, Mason.
See you in the next.
Pleasure, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. See you in the next episode. Bye. Cool. Good job.
Thanks, man.
The mountains were Pangea, they started crumbling, and now we're in this ancient place that they call Appalachia. Coming back with some Northwest slappers, that's a factor. So tell me what you really wanna say. Get in the rhythm, we coming together. I'm finally getting you out of the maze. I'm sitting right up in the barn, I give you the charm. I'm ready to open my arms, I open my heart. I'm sipping the cook cow, get it like Kung Pao. Tell me what you wanna do, feeling right up with a crew. Spitting a freestyle down in New Orleans, and they was doing voodoo. I don't got no Netflix and I don't got no Hulu, but I got a CD and now we got a new crew. Shit out to Reishi, the Lions man gonna save me. I'm spitting flows on the daily, one day they are gonna pay me just for rapping about tea. But right now this is the old for like they going in, said I'm going in, now I'll give y'all this freestyle flow. Thank y'all so much. My name is Torin Frost, so grateful to be here from the West Coast. You know, after you sip caffeine after a long day, you ever sip a cup of chamomile and you go, ah. I'm gonna put some water on the stove, cause I want some chamomile. Thank y'all. I like to wake up in the morning, you know, try to stick to some kind of routine when I'm living in this free flow dream, you know what I mean? So I got a question, are y'all familiar with a particular fungi by the name of lion's mane out there? Riding around town, trying to make some change. I just took 2 microdoses and some lion's mane. I said I'm riding around town, spitting these words, they're gonna regenerate the nerve within your brain. Everything been changing ever since I left my hometown. Now I'm crossing borders just to go and play a show now. And I would have voted if it wasn't for you. And I found out that my father got sick through my hardest hardships. You show me where my heart is, you help me through the darkness. So I'm gonna roll this Griffey back, and I'm gonna spark this for you. Cause I'm in up with the music that we made, and I must just give it back. Hey, for the way that you do your alchemy, and for me. And the way you take negativity and you turn it to positivity. The way you shifting all of that energy for me. I Thank you, Hawk and Hawthorne. Thank you to the fun guys. Thank you to the fun guys. And everyone helping this magic become a reality. Can we all get a "We love you" to the fun gals? We love you. Oh my goddess. Oh my goddess. I am a lucky man, y'all. I'm a lucky man.